how are we learning as an organization? How are we learning as an organism, right? This organization treated as an organism with coherence. Like, how are we leveraging on each other's fragmented experiences and having a conversation that will make us whole? So yeah, so we were talking about conversations that are broken, and I'm just trying to facilitate a learning environment where people will be more conscious about what makes up conversation and what we bring into conversation, which is what they usually call participation. But and then people think participation is just, like shouting ideas, and a lot of the things that happen in conversation involve cold cognition, which is or was it hot cognition? There's two types of cognitions, and one of them is not conscious. You have to learn them as soon as the conversation ends. I mean, there are conversations where it could just be you asking me questions, I'm asking you questions, and they could be non-linear, and still we come up with conversation, the wiser being that we have learned like disparate facts, but because our mind is constantly looking for patterns, it will learn things.
Right.
Right. Like the way you ask those questions about my past, like I was thinking, why is she not asking me questions about, well, you did right on this call. You asked me about how I see the problem, or why am I offering this, which is like the now. What do I see in the now that this is urgent even? And then second is, so you asked me about the past, which is good. Like what have I done before? So I've done, I was a consultant for Accenture. It's a global company that Jimmy Kimmel said unfucked Obamacare. and, and yeah, so Obamacare was actually fixed by Filipinos, and I was part of the team. And Accenture is in 120 countries, whose clients include 90 of the top 100 global companies. So I worked on Google, I worked on Nokia, Microsoft, those accounts. So I did much of training, development for Accenture employees, and then I moved to project management, which is creating people, process, technology together, and doing a knowledge transfer from wherever geography it's coming from, let's say Spain or India, and that it transfers to the Philippines. Those parts of the business that do, I create the people, process, and technology, plug and play, and then let it go. So that entails a lot of, so the knowledge transfer piece entails a lot of training, development, and so that's how I learn how to like build on the conversational nature of learning. Because 70% of what we learn in conversation, and only 30% in formal things, right? So
Right.
I also work in a church where 70% are kids. I have So we have a council of deacons. That's the counterpart of your board of trustees, and two of them are 20-year-old men, boys, and one of them is gay, and it's amazing that, and one of them is Trinitarian. So, and we're able to have a conversation that is more rich about how this faith is multicultural, you know, multi-lineage, because we can't say this is Unitarian faith. We embrace every belief, and yet we we actually only embrace religions and not beliefs. Like, oh, you're a Buddhist Unitarian, you're a pagan Unitarian, but I have other beliefs aside from my beliefs in God. Like, I believe in ghosts. I have mystical experiences. Can I bring that in? We also privilege the past as a source of wisdom. We all usually that's what we do. Like, what have we done in the past that's worked? Like, how we view the past is how we inform our identity. So, for instance, hey, I was a killer in the past, so I'm a killer, right? So, but we do know that in many religions, the restorative part has to do with the future, like envisioning, like from here on, I will be different. Like, this is repentance. This is what repentance is about. It's about looking to the future and what do you desire and allow yourself to be and give yourself permission to be that. So our identity when we're future oriented is our desire. So me, my intentions, desiring what. So so it is forward looking, right? So and then the contingency piece of the time that I mentioned. So I talked about asymmetrical time, which is more past looking,
Mm-hmm.
right? But usually it goes like this from left to right. But I would say it goes like that, like Tower of Babel, where we build on things, right? So that's how asymmetrical time actually looks.
Oh,
And
I see.
people are saying, I will know where to go if I know where to look. How to look behind me is how I know where to go, right? So that's asymmetrical time. And then um, time as a singularity is like what Valerie Kaur was saying. What if this is not the tomb, but the womb? What if this is ground zero? What if this is T minus zero? What if this is the beginning, right? So
Mm-hmm.
let's say, oh, I'm getting married. What does that mean? You have zero experience in marriage.
I know.
how are you how are you going to even envision a life of marriage, right? But then you just do it. This is what ministry is about. It's working on our aspirations and pushing it forward from zero experience.